You are walking to your car at night. Nothing is wrong. No one is following you. But your heart is pounding, your eyes are scanning the shadows, and every parked car looks like a place something could be hiding. Your brain is not reacting to what is actually happening. It is reacting to something much older. For most of human history, the dark was not empty. It held teeth. Your ancestors spent hundreds of thousands of years as prey, not just hunters. Hunted. Large cats, hyenas, and other predators saw early humans as food, and the ones who survived long enough to have children were the ones whose brains treated every rustle in the grass as a possible threat. That instinct did not disappear when the predators did. It just changed targets. Think about the last time you felt a stranger's eyes on you in an empty parking lot. Your palms got warm. Your breathing shifted. You probably could not explain why. Exactly, you felt unsafe. That is because the feeling was never meant to be explained. It was meant to be obeyed, instantly, before conscious thought had time to catch up. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades studying exactly this pathway, and he found something remarkable. Fear does not start in the thinking part of your brain. It starts in the amygdala, a small almond-shaped structure buried deep in the temporal lobe. Ledoux showed that sensory information can reach the amygdala directly, bypassing the cortex entirely. In plain terms, your brain has a shortcut. It can decide something is dangerous before you have even consciously registered what you are looking at. This shortcut kept your ancestors alive. A half-second head start on a lunging predator was the difference between passing on your genes and becoming someone else's dinner. But here is the strange part. That circuitry is still fully installed in your skull right now, and it has almost nothing left to actually hunt. So what does it do instead? It hunts for anything that resembles danger, even faintly. A dark alley. A sudden loud noise. A stranger walking slightly too close behind you. None of these are lions. But your amygdala does not know the difference between a predator from the Pleistocene and a hoodie-wearing pedestrian on a city sidewalk. It just knows the shape of threat, and it fires anyway. Why would evolution build a system this trigger-happy? Because the cost of the two possible mistakes was never equal. If your ancestor heard a rustle in the bushes and assumed it was the wind, but it was actually a leopard, that mistake was fatal. If your ancestor heard a rustle and assumed it was a leopard, but it was actually the wind, that mistake cost nothing but a racing heart and a few wasted seconds. Evolution does not optimize for accuracy. It optimizes for survival, and a brain that overreacts to false alarms survives more often than a brain that stays calm and gets it wrong once. Psychologist Martin Seligman gave this idea a name: preparedness theory. Seligman noticed that humans develop intense, irrational fears of snakes, spiders, heights, and enclosed spaces far more easily than they develop fears of statistically more dangerous modern things, like electrical outlets or speeding cars. His research suggested that we are biologically primed to fear the specific threats our ancestors actually faced, even when those threats barely exist in our daily lives anymore. You are not afraid of the outlet in your kitchen wall. You are afraid of the spider in the corner of your bathroom. One of these has killed far more people. Your brain does not care. It is still running software built for a savanna, not a subway system. This is why a job interview can feel, physically, like a life-or-death event. Your palms sweat. Your throat tightens. Your mind goes blank at exactly the moment you need it most. None of that is really about the interview. It is your ancient threat system, activated by social rejection, because for most of human history, being cast out of the group was a death sentence. There were no solo humans surviving alone on the savannah for long. Isolation meant no protection, no shared food, no one to watch your back while you slept. Being disliked, judged, or excluded was not an emotional inconvenience. It was a biological emergency. And your body still treats it that way, whether the threat is a saber-toothed cat or a room full of strangers holding clipboards. Neuroendocrinologist Robert Sapolsky spent years studying this exact mismatch, largely by observing wild baboons and comparing their stress responses to modern humans. Sapolsky's research showed something unsettling. Zebras get chased by lions, and once the chase ends, their stress hormones return to normal within minutes. Humans, on the other hand, can trigger the same stress response just by thinking about a stressful event. No lion required, just a memory or a worry about tomorrow, is enough to flood your body with the same chemicals that once helped your ancestors outrun a predator. Your body cannot always tell the difference between a real emergency and an imagined one. This is the twist that makes the whole system almost unbearably strange. You are carrying a survival machine perfectly tuned for a world that no longer exists, and it fires constantly at things that were never designed to trigger it. Traffic, deadlines, notifications, arguments you replay at 2 with them. Your amygdala treats all of it with the same ancient urgency it once reserved for actual claws and actual teeth. But knowing this changes something. Once you understand that your racing heart in a tense meeting is not really about the meeting, you can start to see it for what it is. An echo. A leftover alarm system going off in an empty building. It does not mean you are broken or anxious or overreacting in some personal, unique way. It means you have a brain that worked exactly as intended for a world that stopped existing thousands of years ago. So the next time you feel that jolt of fear walking to your car, or that flush of dread before opening an email from your boss, pause for a second. Ask yourself a simple question. Is this a lion, or is this a shadow shaped like one? Most of the time, it is a shadow. And shadows, unlike lions, cannot actually hurt you. They just feel like they can, because somewhere inside you, a hunter-turned-prey is still standing guard, scanning the dark for teeth that are no longer there. You were built for a world of lions. You live in a world of emails. And your brain has not gotten the message yet.